point in time. It's not like it's a he said, she said type of thing. This is on national television. This is in front of millions of people who are watching this, and you're saying things about people that are that potentially are hurtful. Like, okay, she's not your type. She's not typically my type, but I'm willing to give it a try. At this point, to me, he's just playing a game. He's playing the game of Married at First Sight. I believe you said that last week as well. That's what he's playing. But God,
I said a lot of truths and confirmations, but
truths and confirmation. Say it again.
I said a lot of truths and confirmations.
Well,
so
hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Relax, Relate, Debrief. I'm your girl, the oldest sister, Nikki.
I'm the younger sister, Jackie. What's up?
And this is our channel, YouTube channel, where we talk about, right now, all types of topics, but we're discussing mainly Married at First Sight, the latest season, like 14 or 15. 16. One of them. 16, my bad. Season 16, y'all. Welcome. Listen, if you are new to the channel, we're going to ask you to go ahead and hit that like button on subscribe, right? And if you have watched a few of our videos before, we're going to ask you to do the same. Hit the like button or subscribe. All right, we need to get them viewers up. We need to get, our videos out there because, we're just having a good old time. We want everybody to, enjoy us as well. So we're about to get started, y'all. We're excited. To talk about the last episode.
So much in one episode.
So little time. I mean, this episode gave me, I felt like they could have included in last week. Like, it wasn't really a lot. Like, to me, I felt like the content wise, it was just like,
Oh, right. Like, it didn't need to be. Like, this episode could have went into last week's episode.
When last week's
Married at First Sight, one thing y'all do is y'all drag a season out. So it's definitely being dragged, correct?
It is being dragged. But let's get into these couples. Our first couple we're going to talk about today is Jasmine and Aries. Aries.
Oh.
Aries.
Am I going?
I would like to comment first and say you are correct. You asked the question last week if he actually liked Jasmine, and I was like, yeah, like, why not? He says all the right things, he's making all these advances to her. He's always talking about sex, blah, blah, blah. And come to find out, this man is sitting up here and don't even like her. He's not attracted to her. Her physique is too small for him. He likes somebody with a butt, yada, yada, yada.
And meanwhile, he's standing for too. But that's neither here nor there. Asking for all this. Baby, can you handle all of that? Go ahead with your thoughts.
Right. So my thing is, you sat up here and asked, this is the thing. I don't feel like they're truthful when they are telling the experts what they are looking for. Because if I'm going to be down to the T, that means y'all better not get me nobody that doesn't match what I'm telling you I'm attracted to. But
I think the thing that the experts are trying to get these
outside
people.
The box. But go ahead.
And they're trying to get them to understand that by trying to just stick to just your type, you have not been successful. So you keep missing the boat because you're too busy looking for a butt and not a partner.
Too many butts. Too many butts. What our uncle say?
Okay,
he said you gotta watch them butts.
Okay, so you gotta watch them butts. He was like, but you gotta watch them butts. That's a good sermon, Uncle Hank.
Yes, sir. Good work. But listen, but totally agree. Totally agree. And the thing is like nobody be thinking about, even when they go into their confessions or even if they're having side conversations, like the person that you're with is going to see this at some point in time. It's not like it's a he said, she said type of thing. This is on national television. This is in front of millions of people who are watching this, and you're saying things about people that are hurt, that potentially are hurtful. Like, okay, she's not your type. She's not typically my type, but I'm willing to give it a try. At this point, to me, he's just playing a game. He's playing the game of Married at First Sight. I believe you said that last week as well. That's what he's playing. But God,
I said a lot of truths and confirmations, but
truths and confirmation. Say it again.
I said a lot of truths and confirmations.
Well,
so the thing with Airris is, yes, I do think he's playing the game of Married at First Sight. Let me say this about dating in general. It's not about, I don't like to put a bunch into one thing, right? Mm-hmm. But when you meet somebody, you will have some type of natural chemistry that just happens. It's almost natural. It's almost like you've known the person for a long time and stuff like that. These people, the only couple that shows that, and y'all, I'm going to surprise y'all, but the couple that shows that to me is Kirsten and Shaquille. I said I was going to surprise you. They're not. So the reason why I had those thoughts about Airris is because he never came off as genuine or authentic, and he never had that just like natural busted up chemistry. Like, this is like, I like her. This is my friend. Like, this is my, like, all of that stuff just was not coming like natural to him from what I saw. And so for me, it was like, he just like he just said, he looks at her as like, like a friend. So He doesn't feel the need to be like, jokey or touchy or anything. You just naturally know when you are clicking with somebody. They're not naturally clicking. Mm-hmm. I think they're both nice people. I really do. Mm-hmm. I think they're both nice people individually, but together they have not had like a click moment.
But my thing that made me about him was like, oh, I know she think I'm like a 12. But for me, I'm giving her a 4.
He was like, as far as attraction, my wife thinks I'm like a 12.
Who told you
I was
that?
Like, roll the tape back, Airris, because we missed that.
At what point did she say you were a 12? I'm like, first of all, she's questioning your authenticity anyway, because you're around here talking about you've never been in love. So that's already in the forebrain of her mind. Like, is this even going to be a thing? So like, stop. 12?
And honestly, I don't feel like you've changed, Airris. I feel like you enter into relationships or you enter into things with women in regards to your sexual preference first. And that's how you're entering. And I think that's why he's 39, never been in love or whatever. He hasn't grown up. Well, he has not grown up, and it shows.
Stepping on some toes this day.
Huh?
I said we stepping on some toes this day. I was a little tongue twisted there, but you had to say, huh?
I didn't understand it. We stepping on some toes today.
Okay. So, but yeah, so what I failed to do when I did the introduction was say that this episode is a continuation of the honeymoon, and we're just seeing the couples at this point in time. The couples actually come together as a group as well, so they get to talk amongst each other, and then the men separate and talk to the men, the women separate and talk to the women. Of course, there's going to be a totally different conversation with the men versus the women, and that's where the conversation of attraction came up in regards to Jasmine and Airris, where
Airris was finally honest with saying that he is not as attracted to his wife.
He's struggling with the attraction here. So,
and they went and got a couples massage, and he changed his tone, because I think what he realized was that he didn't want to lead her on. See, how he was being was just his personality. Mm-hmm. When he was talking to her and he was trying to be goofy and funny and talking about sexual things and stuff like that. That's Airris's personality, and that's how he normally talks and goose with people. But when he took a step back and realized, like, oh shoot, I don't want this girl thinking this is that and the other, he changed his tone. And she picked up on it when they did a couples massage, and she was like, you was just all of this, and now you're talking different. Like, you need to be taking it slow. And she was like, she caught on.
Yeah, because you've been running your mouth.
When she caught on, he was, finally admitting to the other guys on the show, I know that she's attracted to me. I know that she likes me. She thinks that I'm a 12. Right now, what did he say? She's like,
he said she was a 4.
4.
A 4. And you done said that this girl thinks you're a 12.
And then he was like, I understand, like, it's an issue. Like, she has won, because she's won pageant. What? Pageant contest? What did you do that for?
A pageant queen? Because I'm reacting to what you're saying. He said, because I forget. Yeah, she said that, and I'm like,
she's won pageant queens and pageant contestants, whatever, Miss USA's child, all of them. So she has won those, for her local state,
not country.
for her local state or whatever.
Right.
And you can't hear those fire trucks, right? I mean, they're literally like right here. Sounds like.
Is all as well over there?
Stretch forth your hand this way.
Father God, in the name of Jesus, touch.
Because I don't know.
Loose.
What's going on outside the window?
Whatever's going on.
Not loose.
In Jesus' name, come on.
So he feels like I'm crazy because this woman is, because like, again, she is a good person. She's taking care of her mom who's dealing with the illness.
Right.
Like, he knows that she's a good woman, but he's stuck on, but it's her butt. But he's stuck on the wrong thing.
Physical looks. Yes.
And this is how so many men, never mind. Next couple, because I will not.
You know my saying. That's what men do. No.
No, I'm not saying that.
I know. I'm playing.
I'll say men and women. This is how men and women, because women do it too. Mm-hmm. Gina. But we haven't gotten to her.
Haven't gotten there yet. But however, we want to end it with, I'm going to go ahead, and as I say every week, they're a decline. They're not.
Jasmine and Airris are a decline, and it is due to Airris. I will continue to put that preference. They are declined due to Airris.
Declined due to Airris. So, all right. Moving into our next couple, Dominique and McKinley. Not what you asked for. It was the voice.
Because I was just thinking about. Go ahead. You go ahead. I was just thinking about what I'm gonna say.
McKinley got a lion spirit. Okay, he passes it off as if it's a joking spirit, but you're lying. The way he lied about riding the horse in the bed, like, yes, I rode a horse before. I've been riding since I was a kid. And then when it got time to ride the horses, you was about to run. And then you're getting on the horse and you're not. It's like, what do you really enjoy? Much better. I'm glad you turned that around.
The whole time it wasn't even turned, and you didn't even say nay.
I just thought it was the camera, but But I enjoy.
I'm all in the camera looking blown up.
We just started, so all is well. What was I saying?
McKinley is a lion.
A lion spirit. Yes, lying about the horses. It's just like, and I'm with her. Like, what do you like? I mean, she keeps saying that he jokes too much. I say he lies too much. Like she
doesn't like that he is a complainer.
Oh yes, she's confusing the word complaining for lying. He's lying, sis. He's not complaining. He's lying. He's lying about
stuff.
She
keeps calling him a complainer, and I'm like, girl, he's steady lying.
He's steady lying, and that's gonna be his downfall. She is not attracted to the lying. She's not attracted to what she considers complaining. She's somebody that's like, I'm like outgoing. I like to do stuff. I like to try stuff, and it's just. When someone says that they're willing to be open, and then when you present things to them, they're not really open, that's frustrating. Nobody wants to keep being in a relationship with somebody that when you're mentioning, the water threw me off.
It was water.
I know, but it's all big in the camera. But when you're mentioning, that you're interested in doing and what things that you're interested in doing, and the other person is just not, and like, I'm like, what do you like to do? Like, at this point, let's not worry about what she likes to do. Like, can you say anything that you authentically like to do that you enjoy? Like, come on. When's the last time you've been to Jamaica, sir? Last time we checked, like, you moved to a whole new city. Like, you're on a whole vacation where you can explore different things and do different things, not at your expense. Why are you not having a better time than what is going on? What's going on with you? That's my question.
Me? Are you ready?
Yeah, that's you.
I will give McKinley this. When they was riding them horses and that horse went to the bathroom, that ass would have been me off too.
He wasn't talking to nobody.
He was mad about that, wasn't he? But I stand by what I said last week. And I'm like, basically, Married at First Sight, producers, production, everyone, you're available to reach out to me because not me being an expert. Okay?
Not you being an expert. Seriously, though. Honestly, at this point.
Because, as I stated last week, McKinley is corny to Dominique.
Yeah.
She doesn't want a corny dude. She doesn't. And if she does want a corny dude, she doesn't want. Let me tell you something. McKinley, them shirts he was wearing on that beach, I was like, I mean, the corniness is coming through. He doesn't like. He had on them bananas shirt. I was like, oh, McKinley. Oh my God, today. But it's not her. And I'm not saying that. Let's be clear, because I'm not saying that Dominique stepped out giving us fashion.
Okay.
I'll digress. Mm-hmm. But I believe that his quirkiness and his corny, because when you're just corny, it's kind of like an overall thing, and it's just who you are. Nothing wrong with it. On top of him being corny, though, he's doing a lot.
Yeah.
He's with the complaining and the lying. So he sat in bed and they were their adventure for the day was to ride horses with the other couples. Dominique was so excited about it. And he was like, yeah, like, you know, I ride horses. I'm good. Like, I've ridden horses before. And she was like, you're lying. Like, she was like, she tried to call him out in a joking manner. And he was like, no, like, I do it. It's great.
Right.
They get out to the excursion. They're putting on the straps around their waist to be able to hold on to the horse. And he goes, I've never ridden a horse in my life. So Married at First Sight producers, like they did, literally rewound and showed you to literally maybe like an hour earlier where he said he has no problem with riding horses. He's been doing it. He can do all types of tricks and stuff with the horses. So he lied. His karma for that was when they got on them horses and got into that ocean, his horse went to the bathroom and he got some of the remnants. And the thing that's what she's having an issue with, because she also called her mom on the honeymoon, which I didn't realize they were allowed to like call back home.
Wow.
But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Mm-hmm. She called her mom on the honeymoon and was basically like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know where to come in with him. He's joking too much to the point where I can't tell. He's constantly complaining. Mm-hmm. I don't know where to come in or what to do here where he is concerned. And, you know, her mom, trying to be optimistic, was like, well, maybe he wants you to pull him out of his comfort zones. The issue with that is, I don't know when to pull. I have no problem helping you or introducing you to things new, but he's complaining about it like he doesn't want to do it, or he's lying about it like he doesn't need to be introduced to it. I don't have time to try to figure these things out. We're trying to learn each other. Don't come in here lying, complaining, and then joking about it all. And she stated it is a turnoff to her.
It is. It'd be a turnoff to anybody.
It would be a turn up. A dude just sitting there lying 24/7, or a dude complaining too much.
Just like it would be a turn off if a woman was complaining too much. Like
as I told y'all,
men don't want to hear that.
Chronic complainers, negative people. If you don't know, examine yourself. But you have to know that you are draining to others around you. When you can't find any type of positive in anything. Somebody said one time, I think it was Apostle Clay. She said, even on a bad day, God is good. Come on.
Say it again.
I'm giving y'all all types of gems on this episode. Cash at me for the offering. But so when you can't find,
I'm not even.
I'm worthy of my word. What? What's the word?
You're worthy of what? See, you don't even know. You're worthy of what?
No, reward them that give you the scripture. I mean, what did Paul say? I think it was Paul that said it.
Was it Paul?
Hallelujah. To Timothy? I don't know.
Your mother.
But anyway, read your Bible.
And you as well. You the main one. Somebody read your Bible. You need to read yours.
We'll be talking about Joseph this morning. So I think that in that she's not with him having those characteristics and that kind of personality, I'll say. And I'm not trying to put that on him, but based off of what she is experiencing, this is what she has gathered. And for that, she's out.
And I'm with her. Like they're a decline for me. It's just,
and it started from the
top, from meeting them
from the airplane.
Child, it started from walking down the aisle and learning that he was almost 10 years older than her, and And that's crazy
living in
too.
his friend's parents' house.
I don't think she knows that yet, but like, and that's crazy too, that he's 10 years older than her, and his level of maturity and being able to communicate with her what he truly needs. I don't, guys, we gotta work on our communication. I mean, women communicate all the time.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying people in general. It's like a lot of people, even on here that are not able to really fully express how they truly feel and what they truly are experiencing. And he's like, if you're an introvert,
let's pause there. Okay. Why do people have issues communicating? Is it because of how it will be received? Have people just not done the work to understand how to be a better communicator? Because in communicating, there's a lot that goes into it. Mm-hmm. And it starts off with your tone, not what you're saying, but how you're saying it. So
all the time, and I be telling the truth too.
Huh?
People always say that all the time, but I be telling the truth, and the tone sometimes is needed to go with the truth.
No? That's not
okay.
But read your audience. If I'm not your child, I don't necessarily need that tone.
I don't always speak, I'm speaking for myself. It's everybody wants to revert to a child tone, but that's not how I'm talking. If you're being stern and assertive and folks don't want to hear it, then they automatically deduce it to be speaking to your child. But I'm not speaking to you as if a child. I don't even have.
But why do you feel the need in community? Well, not you in general. Why?
Okay, because I was like, I don't feel that need. Like,
But why do people feel the need in communicating to be stern? If you're talking from adult to adult, why do you feel the need to be stern? Why do you feel the need to be assertive? Why do you feel the need to be an octave above me? That's not proper communication. You should be able to have and why can't people? And maybe people just don't know how to put into words their feelings. Like sometimes, because I think about it, like in the past, I don't think I've always properly communicated. I think I'm a great communicator now, but I don't think that I always Not you getting big eye. Let's move on. Next couple, because now I'm getting ready to come into play.
Well, you said you worked on yourself. Where's the proof?
Grace and mercy.
This is true. I think people become overwhelmed by their emotions. And maybe the situation you have to get right. It's a situation sometimes. And then it's also getting control of your emotions. A lot of times, I can speak for myself. When my emotions are out of control, because I'm always on the defense, because I'm always like, so then it appears that even when I'm having conversations where I'm not trying to be like rude, or I'm not trying to be I'm just trying to communicate, my level of communication has seemed like I'm, like you said, I have a harsh tone, or I'm talking like I'm not your kid, so why can't you have a conversation? But it's not even like I'm thinking that you're like, we're not on the same level. It's I'm at here with my emotions, and then I'm trying to talk to you, but my emotions are overpowering what I'm saying. The thing that's in charge at the moment. And when you learn to control your emotions, then you can have those level-headed conversations. And you may have to you have to begin to start, when you feel yourself rising and your emotions are taking over, like learn to take a step back, learn to say, you know what, I can't have this like people say, I can't have this conversation right now, because if I have this conversation in the state that I'm in, I'm gonna
a lot of people do that
I don't want to say, and you can't take back. But if working on yourself causes you to reflect and say, listen, I'm not going to say this right now, I'm going to pause and I'm going to take a moment, and then I'll come back and have the conversation, because I want it to truly be a conversation and not an argument.
And I think that being in this situation, it's going to be difficult to immediately know how to properly communicate.
Correct.
It's easier to communicate when you actually know somebody and you guys have an understanding.
Yeah.
So that could be why McKinley and Dominique are having a lapse in communication.
Correct. Okay, good. It's still a decline for me. But good point.
Well, they're a decline when I saw that preview. I heard Sips water with Crystal Light.
Next couple is going to be Kirsten and Shaq. Again, they're doing a lot of chattering with each other, with these women, and saying what they don't like. So she's around here talking about she don't like his sense of humor, or he jokes too much. And I'm not seeing him do a lot of joking, so I wasn't sure what she was talking about. But however, again, there are a lot of moments that we don't get to see. Well,
they did play back the one where she was struggling with her suitcase and he made fun of her.
I laughed at that. Like, I feel like I would have been left with him. I'd be like,
hold on. Now, I was with Kirsten on this. I'm struggling with my suitcase, and you being my husband gonna laugh at me struggling instead of helping me?
I mean, it's no different than me laughing when somebody falls. I can't help it. So
it's rude, but that doesn't mean
I'm not saying it's
you
not
laugh
rude.
at an old lady.
Well, we have to get all into it. What I laugh about. But if you were around, you know. But I laugh at my own self when I fall. So it's
you
a
laughed when Grandma Mason fell down the steps.
It's a natural gift God gave me.
This your grandma.
Yeah, he said laughter is good for the soul, so I can laugh.
God rest her soul.
Yeah, love you, Grandma.
But
yeah, so I didn't feel like that. To me, that was a laughable moment because I would have been laughing myself, like if I would have seen him doing that, and I would have been like, whatever, like you know what I mean, going about my business. Like, think about it. Daddy is the same way. He will mock us about stuff about yourself and have you laughing about it, and you're like, yo, that's ignorant. Like in the same sentence while we're laughing, we were like, yo, that's ignorant.
But at the same time, we have to be like, Daddy, that's ignorant. We have to say that. We be laughing, but it'd be like, that was ignorant. You can't say that. When he asked me, did my skirt come with a battery pack? It was a neon orange. Like, that was ignorant. You got a battery pack with that? You couldn't just say I look nice. Like, why did you say that? Yes, I laughed, but that was
But you shouldn't laugh. If you felt this, you should have been just as stern as Kirsten. Don't you do that. But
well, here's the thing. He's not my husband. He's my father. So when he does it, it's funny. Somebody that you're trying to like, kind of in a moment that you're trying to impress.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she felt that way, because she did tell him that it's not like I don't want you to joke around. It's just that and the other. It's just that I'm trying to find a balance for it all because we're trying to get to know each other. And then he turned defensive. So then what do you want me to do?
Well, okay, maybe I'm more like shit because I'm the same way. At this point, if you're going to point out something and say, like, I don't want you. So he's like, no, I'm asking you, when are the times what is it that you don't want? Like, be specific. So we can't just be generalized and say, we need to find a balance between laughing and joking and having conversations. What she could have done is said, you know, when I'm talking to you about X, Y, and Z, and I'm presenting myself in a manner where I'm not really cracking a smile, that means I'm being serious. Those are my clues to you that I'm having a serious conversation because I understand you don't know me.
So I think that they kind of came to that conclusion after the defense came down because, you know, when you're telling somebody you don't really like a certain way about them, they immediately get defensive. Right. Naturally, you're immediately like, what do you mean? So which he did, what do you want me to do? Right. And I think that they were able to come to, I mean, she was kind of being like, I don't like people that shut down in the middle. And so she did that when she was like, I'm done talking about this. Well, actually, you brought it up. So if he's not understanding what you're saying, and he said, I'm trying to understand what you're saying, then you need to bring clarity to what it is that you have a problem with.
That's my point. Exactly.
And then when you bring clarity to what it is, once they kind of like did that, I felt like it came to like an agreeable thing where it was like, okay, I could do a better job of this. And, you could do a better job of that. Kirsten and Shaquille so when Shaquille was talking to the guys, he said, my wife kind of gets tired of my speeches with her. And she said, are you Martin Luther King or what? I fell out because I was like, Shaquille, I'm sorry. I can see it. And she was like, I don't want you to talk at me. I don't want a speech. I want you to. So he's kind of trying to understand that and what she means and getting through that. Right. I think he's having a hard time with that. But when they did their excursion of learning a Jamaican dance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Once again, sorry, I saw it. Again.
I was going to say something about, I don't feel like they should have, he brought back that Jasmine, what he said, what Eris said about Jasmine. Like the conversation that y'all had, like that, because I don't feel like,
I don't know
the way it looked, it didn't seem like he brought what Eris said about not being attracted to her back to Kirsten. Yeah. I don't like when y'all are having these conversations with the men and the women are having the conversations with the women, you don't need to bring the information back. Here we go. The pillow talk reminds me of,
I'm a pillow talk queen.
Reminds me of who was the couple last season?
Oh, Frog Prince. Justin.
Justin and
Alexis.
Like, because to me it can become detrimental, right? So I was like, well, Eris hadn't had that conversation, and then how he's presenting himself, like Kirsten said, he's making it seem like he likes her and that he wants it, and so he's like, well, I'm telling you this, what he said in the group. Now you being messy boots, you didn't need to tell her that. Like, you need to focus, and then you're going to get mad about what she told you.
Are you not going to tell your spouse everything?
Jackie, we're talking about a reality show, a TV show where these people don't know each other. Yes. I'm going to bump my gums with my spouse about everything that I know. About. And
if I like you and I feel like you're my friend, it doesn't matter what TV show we're on. I'm coming back bumping. Just like when Eris sat down and told Jasmine that Clint and Gina's basically calling each other ugly. So they're all
guys, prompted to talk about. Where's the loyalty? Where is the loyalty?
To your spouse. I just thought he was just chopping it up with his wife.
Okay. Well,
I think that they're good and they're gonna make it. I don't know how long or how far they're gonna make it, but I enjoyed them when they had to do their reggae dance. I don't know what kind of dance you call it. When they learned choreography and they were like getting along and just having that little moment again.
It was a moment.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice moment. There's still decline. So moving along. Mm-hmm. Nicole and Chris. I don't have nothing for them.
They're continuing to do good in their conversating. They went kayaking, I think, and they were trying to learn how to kayak together, and so they did good there. But when they were in their group talks, Clint was trying to tell Chris that, Nicole's gonna push you. Nicole has that New York attitude or whatever, and so you're gonna have to learn how to back yourself up and tell her to back off, and this is that and the other, because that's what she's gonna do. And so when she does that, just know that that's coming. So I guess he called himself giving Chris advice. At the same time, he was calling Chris soft. So, because he also called him like a people pleaser. So I'm just like,
but where's the line?
Well, I don't see where he's trying to. Maybe he may be, because his family mentioned that he goes all in on his relationship. So when he falls hard. That, to me, that's different than being a people pleaser. He just loves very hard. So I think that because he loves very hard, that was how I guess that was the advice that he felt like was the advice that he needed to give him. However, it wasn't well received by Chris, because I don't think Chris sees himself as that way. So I don't know.
I don't know what he's going to do, but I mean, I think he just overall got mad because it seemed like he was calling him a punk.
He was calling him.
And he was like, how dare you? And I'm like, I mean, out of all people though, Clint, like, you shouldn't really be talking right now as being as though everybody's mad at you.
Yeah, I just don't think that Chris is a punk either. I think that he does a good job of communicating himself, his feelings, what he's gone through in the past. I was surprised to hear him say that Nicole holds hands way too much. Like, he was like, it's hot out here. I was a little surprised to hear that, because I was like, she's trying to be reassuring, because in your last relationships, they wasn't even trying to look at you.
I know. He's like, it's too much.
He's like, it's hot. Okay. But he likes it. He likes to know that, she wants him. And I think that he was smart in saying, like, I'm not trying to jump into just a physical with you. I really want to get to know you and make sure that this is something that's going to work. So based off of previous relationships and how I did that, jumping into the physical never led to anything, never led to this positive outcome. So I don't want to do that in this. And I thought that was good too. So I like Chris, and I don't have a problem that he falls hard. I would have a problem if he was like obsessive, because I don't like obsessive people, but I think they're gonna make it.
I do too. I give him a yes.
Next couple.
Is that yours? You're giving an accept?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think they're gonna make it.
Yes, I give him a yes. Our last and final couple is Gina and Clint.
Yeah, Gina. Clint mentioned, again, he finally mentioned that he was trying to get past just talking about her salon, because all she does is talk about herself and her salon. and what she has accomplished. That is the depth of anything concerning Gina.
Mhm.
I feel like she is purposefully putting that as her limit because she does not like him.
Mhm.
And so she doesn't feel the need to go all in and do all of that because I'm not necessarily into you. So I think if she took the time though to just be like vulnerable and talk to him and all of those things, she would find that maybe there's a little bit more to him than just the fact that he has red hair. Like she's doing the exact same thing that we talked about that the men were doing, which is where she's based off of physical. That's what she's basing her decision off of. And it's like, you haven't made good decisions moving forward, and they partnered you with Clint for a reason. And you're giving him kind of like, I don't know. And she always wants to make it a point to be passive aggressive with the whole, I'm not, he's not my type. He's not my thing. We're taking it slow. We're just trying to see because I don't like him. So we're just trying to see, but we're not. And it's like, Gina, why do you think people aren't picking up on that? Especially not Clint. And so he went into, so once again, all the couples are talking about where they are in the stage and how they're feeling. And he went into, we've had conversations about physical attractiveness. And she was like, yeah, like, I think she said something like, yeah, like I've mentioned, like, I don't normally do redheads. I thought it was funny that once he came back with, and, I normally do slender, more athletic women, that she was like, I dated a redhead and we, I was able to get past that and we had a great relationship. Well, you're not leading with that. You were leading with, I don't do redheads. I don't do redheads. So hold on. Are you now looking at him like your past redhead that you were dating?
Right.
So I'm just like, because all of a sudden now she's like, no, I've been with redheads and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, she kept calling him a gingerhead, which he found to be offensive. I had no idea that was offensive.
I think the overall thing was he's finding that you keep talking about my looks and that's offensive. I don't want you to call me a gingerhead. Like that's not the thing that you should say. I just found it amazing and astonishing that she really was trying to be offended when he said he preferred a slender. He normally dates people with a slender body. He didn't call you fat. He didn't. And if you look at yourself, yes, you're not slender in what he's saying, but you're most definitely like, she was like, how do you know I don't work out? He didn't say you didn't. He just said my preference is a slender.
And I was trying to figure out what he meant by slender, though.
I think that Gina super skinny. She's fit. So I don't, but she's curvy.
That she is
curvy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's in her bathing suit. So like I said, she was curvy when she, took off for her. She's not slender. She's not slender, I guess, in what he was, speaking of or saying what he was used to. However, like you started the conversation. You didn't even have to go there. You didn't have to be offended by nothing he said. You were the one that felt the need to bring it to his attention and brought it more than once. It's not like you said it one time. Like you said it on several occasions. You give off the energy that you're not really interested in him like that. And so it's like, and then now you have the nerve to get mad because he expressed what he liked. Like you never thought he was going to say what he liked, what he was normally attracted to.
I saw on the after show that they were trying to get Clint. It was Aris, Clint, and Dominique. And Clint's whole thing was she started the conversation, like even before they aired him saying what he said. She started the conversation with him, like back in the room, being like, so am I like typical girl? Am I like the typical type that you go for? She was like asking him those questions. And he was like, so when we were having those conversations and she brought up that, like, when we've talked about our attractiveness to each other, he was like, I just reiterate what I already said. And they were trying to get him to see that it's one thing maybe saying something like that in private versus saying it in a group.
It doesn't matter. She said, whether she said it, she didn't say it in private though. Like she said it on camera recording so that all millions of people, y'all worried about a little small group. Millions of people saw what she said and what she's been saying for the past couple of weeks. So right. Like
they were saying in that moment, the conversations that she had with you about, like, she always, like I said, she's always passive aggressive about it and just tries to call it like, oh, attractiveness and this is that and the other, we're working on that, all this stuff. That's how she tries to do it in front of the other friends. Like how you were like, oh, everybody should be, you know, careful of how they're talking about each other and other people. So she maybe was trying to be a little bit conscious of that. And he was just like, yeah, because like I've told her, Clint really, I don't think, of course, don't think he meant any harm.
I don't.
He literally was like, right, well, like I've told her, you know, I'm not normally date slender, more athletic. And at that point, she felt like, well, I didn't go into it like that with everybody. You could have kept it. Like they were trying to get him to see that on the after show, and he was just like, okay.
Yeah, I'm with him. Like it's a no. Like she should have never said that because you don't know when he, and then she's opened up her mouth again in the group and said that she was not attracted to gingerhead people. So again, we can't sit here and pretend like he just came up with it on the whim and just decided that he was going to, you know, say that to her. Like, okay, should he have said it in the group? No, neither has she. They both should have kept their mouth closed. Because like you said in the beginning earlier, Aries was the one that said, well, they basically calling both each other ugly. Because that's basically what y'all doing. So he didn't say just one person. And the guys was like, yeah, like, come on. Like, you know, and then the women was being so extra. Oh, he's gross. It's a lot of curvy women. Y'all, he wasn't talking to me. I was not offended by nothing Clint said. He didn't group me in what he was saying. He was not even talking to them. He didn't group them. He was specifically talking to us. Oh, that's disgusting. People say way worse stuff than that. He could have said something.
But body shaming is a big thing.
I don't think he was body shaming her. I feel like everybody overreacted to it. Again, my opinion. And because they added fire to the fuel, so then she's like, yeah, then she's like, oh, I had a chance to simmer down and think about it because I was so fuming mad. Okay.
Well, I'm saying body shaming in a way of specifically coming at somebody's body type is a big social thing. And so that's why they were like, you know, that was offensive and this, that, and the other. There's all these curvy women. I'm just trying to figure out where curvy comes in. Maybe I need to get a definition of curvy.
Why do you need a definition?
I like none of y'all, whatever. None of y'all have the struggle of, but there's obviously a different dynamic to what they're saying. Right, but for me, it's just like none of y'all are a part of the BBW crew. Like, so okay. But whatever. So I think that because he mentioned specifically like something like body type, I think anytime you do that, which is why Aries has been very cautious of how he approaches his perception and feeling of Jasmine, because he specifically said, I'm not trying to hurt her feelings.
Right.
And sometimes when you're trying to be cautious and do this, that, and the other, and you're trying not to hurt their feelings, you actually make matters worse because it's like the other girl said, how you're acting is way different than what's coming out of your mouth. So that's why it's making it worse. Whereas Clint was like, what I'm saying and what I'm doing is all the same. You don't like me? You could have been a little more athletic, maybe a little volleyball, something like that. But when he said it, I literally didn't think that there was like malicious intent behind it. I think he was just trying to reiterate a conversation that they had earlier.
Right.
And I think that it got blown up. I think it got blown up. And she was right to go back to him and say, like, you know, I was upset about what you said. And even in that conversation when he was trying to express, like, you know, well, basically you started it. Like, so, you know, and I was just basically saying, you said your type and I was saying my type. And then she was like, well, if you don't see the problem, then we just need to separate. And then he was like, oh, you're just being way extra. And see, like, I think what I
let's say you needed a moment.
Trying to say was, even when he came back to her and said, I can see my problem, but do you see your problem? Mm-hmm. And she didn't. And neither one of them know how to apologize because, and maybe it was because they were heated, but she's over there like, I'm sorry if you find gingerhead as offensive. That's not an apology.
Right.
And he was like, well, I'm sorry if you felt like that's not an apology. So y'all are still mad and y'all are still, that's not an apology. Like, is saying gingerhead offensive? I don't know. Since I don't know, maybe that's something I can be educated on, especially if I'm married to or dating in the past, as you say you've done, Gina, redheads. Is specifically talking about body type in front of other people or groups or people that are supposed to be our friend, could that be triggering to some people? Yes, it could be triggering in a lot of ways. A lot of people can't really take you specifically shaming something, including like their earlobe. Like if people are sensitive about their ears and you make a comment about their ears, it doesn't necessarily have to do with them being fat, and it may not be anything to you, but don't comment on my ears because it may be something that causes me to become self-conscious.
Right.
So I understand that concept. And sometimes you can do that unbeknownst to you. Like, I had no idea that I was offending you. I had no idea that I was,
Right.
you know, this is that and the other. But there was room for both of them to say, okay,
Agreed. I'm sorry.
that was, you know, that was messed up. And all Clint wanted her to see was like, I wasn't trying to do that, but do you understand what you've been saying to me, like, since the honeymoon started? And she was just like, I dated a redhead. And it's like, that has nothing to do with it. You're being offensive to him. He's telling you that. And then you're telling him, well, if you're offended, sorry. Right. No, you should take accountability, Gina.
You missed the whole point. Like, yeah, I don't care how much of a hairdresser you are, how much you've done color on people's hair. If someone, because you said, I didn't know saying ginger hair was offensive. I don't know if that's offensive, but if a person's telling you that they're offended by it, it doesn't matter whether you knew it or not. It was offensive. You need to acknowledge their feelings in that moment and say, like you said, I apologize. I was not trying to be offensive when I'm calling you gingerhead. Now that I know that it offends you, I won't say that. And Clint, on the other hand, should have said, and I apologize. I was not trying to body shame you in any way, shape, or form. I was just continuing a conversation that we had and where I expressed the type of women that I'm normally attracted to. And I realized in that moment that it has caused some offense to you. And for that, I'm sorry for.
Yeah, I think that they were just too busy trying to blame each other. Yeah. And that's what caused it to boil over. And it's over. He's going to be kissing Dominique at some point.
He's over.
Hooking up with Dominique. Well, they showed it, and I was like, I couldn't believe it.
It was over from the beginning, honestly. It was over from the very moment that she just kept talking about her job. She's not giving any depth to any conversation. And this is another reason why you don't need to be all concerned about taking stuff into other groups or whatever, because you're so busy conscious about, you know, where's the loyalty at? Where is the loyalty, Dominique? Which is when I'm sitting there talking to you about body shaming me, and now you got your throat down here. And obviously, Clint don't care about bodies because Dominique. Mm-hmm. And Clint sitting in the circle giving everybody advice, and I was like, Clint was in these streets because he was telling everybody, this your issue. This was going on with you. You need to be don't not be yourself. Be yourself from the jump. I'm like, Clint with all this advice. But I agreed with that though. I was like,
no, he wasn't.
He was giving good advice. I mean, as Side-Eye was looking at him like, Clint, you need to stop and take your own advice. And that moment, he did need to take his own advice when it came to the situation with him and Gina. But he was telling the truth. Like, Shaquille, if that's authentically you, that's you. Be you from the beginning. I'm not going to try to change myself to please you in a way that's not. So how do we work together? Because I think the issue is nobody knows each other. And off the bat, it's like, oh, I don't like that about you. I don't like that about you. You don't even know me enough to keep telling me what you don't like about me. Like, get to know me. And so, yes, if you say, you know what, you do talk like Martin Luther King, or you always giving a speech, and he's like, you know, that's my personality, that's how I am. You know, he can learn how to, within his speeches, make it a little bit more personal, but not change how he has a conversation necessarily. And then I feel like a lot of it has to do with growth too. So in relationships, you grow. And as you understand what your partner needs and what, you know, you're looking for, then like you will grow. And then there are things that you will adjust because of the relationship that you're in. But I just think that everybody up front and all this, and I'm tired of them asking each other, do you love me? Why do we talk about love in the third and fourth day of the honeymoon?
Well, Michaela told Clint that he was crazy and that Gina was beautiful. And I was like, oh. He was like, you're crazy. He was like, I don't know what's wrong with Clint anyway. Gina's beautiful.
He said, you're not pulling girls better than Gina. And I was
you're not pulling girls better than Gina. And I
said, Clint had 75 bodies, 85, however many he had, 65 bodies.
The thing with McKinley. I'm calling him Michaela. McKinley. The thing with McKinley is you complimenting Gina harder than you complimenting Dominique. I see you wasn't joking there or lying there.
Well,
I thought that was
truth. It's some like, truth. Yep.
I haven't heard him compliment. I mean, he's been nice to Dominique, but I ain't heard him compliment Dominique that hard.
Because he ain't looking at Dominique. He's looking at Gina.
He was like, Gina's freaking gorgeous. You're not pulling nothing better than that. That's freaking. I was like, okay. Well, so McKinley, we see that you kind of was wishing Gina was down the aisle for you, and maybe Clint and Dominique should have. Sometimes it just be a little mix up.
But
I don't know.
and then I believe Clint is 15 years her senior. So
You must like it.
must be more of her, might be more her speed. But I just
She said she was an old soul in the beginning.
And I'm not seeing the old soul nowhere.
No. Well, that's because all she can do is just smile and be like, "Dear Lord, what have I done?" That's all she looks. That's how she looks at McKinley. She just be like,
"What have I gotten myself into?"
I don't know. But Clint and Gina are obviously not going to make it.
Decline.
And both of them need to take accountability and stop just trying to blame the other one. And Gina needs to take accountability for starting it. And Clint needs to take accountability for finishing it.
If I was Gina, I would have had Clint come to the room. And I would have put on the good Evangelist Fantasia Barrino. And I'd have played, "If you don't want me, then don't talk to me."
Again, she started it. So Clint should have played that for her first.
Yeah, don't want me, then don't talk to me. Yep. And I would have got the live version too. Like, would she take it to church too? You're playing games. If you don't want me, don't talk to me.
She's telling the truth. That's
what I'm just saying. If you're that offended by what he said, like, remember you told me to
remember what?
Remember you told me to play that song for somebody?
I was like, stop all this back and forth. Get you a song. Because I'm good for getting a song for somebody.
You are good for getting a song. And I played that song. He was like, what are you saying? I was like, what did the song say? Like,
what did the song say? Only one time I played a song and it didn't work. But for the most part, I played them songs. I sung for you. Because one time it didn't work. I was like, oh, this is a strong devil.
Sometimes it be them songs that get you through, when you can listen. For those that are struggling, this is something I want to say for that. For those are struggling to communicate, get you a song. I guarantee you there will be a song for everything that you're feeling, everything that you're experiencing, everything that you feel you cannot say. I say put the song on and let the song talk for itself. Hey, look at God. Put the song on.
If you need to know what song, give me a snippet of what's going on and I got it.
No. Give us a scenario and then we will send you back the appropriate song. I'll send you back
at least 3 in order. Play them this one, then this one, then this one. And some good ones in there is Chrisette Michele. She got some good ones too. As far as
no, but at the end of the day, yep. So yeah, Clint, Gina, declined. No.
Not gonna make it. And go take accountability. Gina, go get you somebody that's not a redhead, and Clint, go get you somebody that's playing softball.
I mean, and some of these we don't really realistically have to do any type of real digging as far as predictions are concerned. Like, we're looking at what's coming up on the episodes, and a lot of a few of y'all just walking away, giving up, throwing in the towel, and just ain't having it. So we just going by what y'all doing. That's why I said you continuously keep saying you see a spark in Shaq and Kirsten. The thrill is gone.
I don't think it is.
There's
a spark there that no other couple has to me that Kirsten and Shaquille have.
Again, I would be surprised if I would say, okay, they might say yes at decision day, but after decision day, I do not think that they will still be together.
I don't know. I said that about Olajuwon and Katina.
And they're not together. They just made another statement saying that they have broken up for good.
They made a second announcement?
A second announcement just the other day.
Oh, I don't follow people past the show, but
I don't follow them. I actually watch Married at First. I actually follow Married at First Sight fan page, and she always get like the inside scoop and tea, and she had posted it.
Why did they make a second announcement? I was rooting for them.
They wanted y'all to know, like, this didn't work out. So
I thought Olajuwon was going to be a problem, and then I thought they're gonna make it. I never saw a spark between them, but I thought that they were fighting, that they were like putting forth effort. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Olajuwon and Katina. Good-looking people. You'll find, hopefully, your match.
Hopefully. First to you. Well,
thank you guys so much for joining in on this episode. Today is the Super Bowl. Let's bow our heads and pray for our Philadelphia Eagles. The Lord has shown up for them all season, and I expect him. He that hath begun a good work. I expect him to finish it tonight at 6:30.
I said I wanted to say a prayer myself. Dear God, touch the Chiefs. Did you bow your head?
No, because I'm not in agreement. And what we're not gonna do is just be in agreeing with everything.
Oh wow! So now we gotta.
I told you, I shuts my spirit down.
Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.